Imagine you are sitting in a small boat on a beautiful river. It is a misty morning, the water is calm, and you are meditating with your eyes closed. You feel completely at peace. The world is silent. Suddenly, thud! Something slams into your boat, rocking you violently. Your meditation is shattered. Instantly, that peace turns into fury. You think, "Who is this careless idiot? Can't they see I'm sitting here?" You open your eyes, ready to scream at the boatman who crashed into you. But when you look, the other boat is empty. There is no one to yell at. It was just drifting downstream. In that moment, your anger collapses. There is nowhere to direct it. This is the parable of the empty boat, and understanding it is the secret to mastering your anger and finding peace in a chaotic modern world. Welcome back to Tales of Inspiration. Today, we are going to slow down. We are going to explore one of the most powerful stories from Chuang Tzu, a foundational text of Taoism. It is a story about the narratives we create in our minds and how those narratives quietly steal our happiness. We live in a time of constant collision. Traffic jams, rude emails, internet trolls, difficult family members. It often feels like the world is constantly crashing into our little boat. We spend our days feeling offended, defensive, and exhausted, always shouting at the other driver, the other coworker, the other stranger. But what if, in almost every case, the boat is actually empty? Over the next few minutes, we are going to explore how to apply this ancient wisdom to your very real, very stressful life. By the end of this story, you will have a simple mental tool that can stop overthinking in its tracks. The parable tells of a monk who decides to meditate alone in the middle of a lake. He takes his small boat out early in the morning. The fog is thick. He is seeking solitude, trying to silence his ego. As he sits there with his eyes closed, he feels a sense of pride. He thinks, "I am so peaceful. I am so good at meditation. I am finally mastering my emotions." And that is when the collision happens. The impact spills his tea and knocks him off balance. Before he even opens his eyes, something important happens inside his mind. He builds a villain. In a split second, he imagines a rude, careless, arrogant boatman, someone who doesn't respect his space. He creates an entire personality for this invisible enemy. His blood pressure rises, his fists clench, he is ready to explode. Then he opens his eyes and sees the empty boat. It had simply slipped its knot from the dock and drifted with the current. He cannot yell at the wood, he cannot curse the wind. There is no one to blame, and because there is no target, the anger has nowhere to go but back to its source. In that moment, the monk realized something profound. The anger never came from the collision. The collision was just physics. The anger came from him, from his ego, from his expectation that the world should move out of his way. If there had been a person in that boat, he would have felt justified in his rage. But because the boat was empty, he was forced to see the truth. The anger was entirely his own creation. This is the deeper lesson. Events themselves are neutral. The suffering comes from the story we attach to them. We walk through life with what psychologists might call a hostile attribution bias. When something goes wrong, we assume someone did it to us. We take the universe personally. If it rains on your wedding day, it feels like the sky is mocking you. If you hit a red light when you're late, it feels like the city is conspiring against you. We fill every empty boat with a villain, because having a villain makes us feel important. It makes us the center of the story. If someone hits you by accident, you aren't angry. If you believe they did it on purpose, you are furious. The physical event is the same, only the story changes. Chuang Tzu wrote, "If a man is crossing a river and an empty boat collides with his own skiff,
Even though he be a bad-tempered man, he will not become very angry. But if he sees a man in the boat, he will shout at him to steer clear. And all because there is somebody in the boat. Yet if the boat were empty, he would not be shouting and not angry. Now let's bring this into everyday life. Think about traffic. You're driving home after a long day, you're tired. Suddenly, a car cuts into your lane. You slam on the brakes, your coffee spills. Immediately, your mind reacts. Look at this jerk. He thinks he owns the road. He doesn't care about anyone but himself. You've just put someone in the boat. You've created a villain. And for the next 20 minutes, you replay the moment, gripping the steering wheel, poisoning your own evening. Now try the empty boat approach. Imagine that car as just a drifting object, metal, momentum, circumstance. Maybe the driver is rushing to the hospital. Maybe they just lost their job. Maybe they're distracted. Or maybe they really are unpleasant. But even then, they are still an empty boat, driven by their own conditioning, their own emotions, their own lack of awareness. They are not cutting you off. They are simply cutting off. You just happen to be there. When you see it this way, you don't have to excuse the behavior, but you also don't have to carry the burden of anger. You steer around it and continue down the river. This becomes harder with people we know, a critical boss, a partner who snaps at you. You send a report to your boss. They reply with a short, harsh message, pointing out a typo. No praise, no warmth, just criticism. Thud. Your ego reacts. They don't appreciate me. They're micromanaging me. They're against me. But is the boat really full? Often, people are projecting their own internal storms. Your boss may be under pressure, afraid, exhausted. Their harshness is a ripple from their own chaos. When you see this, the emotional charge dissolves. You fix the typo, you respond calmly, you stop taking it personally. There's a simple truth here. People are not against you. They are usually just for themselves. When someone is difficult, imagine them as a boat caught in a strong current, pushed by their past, their fears, their unresolved pain. They collide with you not because they hate you, but because they've lost control of their rudder. So how do we practice this in daily life? The next time you feel that spike of anger, a slow internet connection, a rude comment, a loud neighbor, pause and try this. First, notice the impact. Feel the thud. Don't suppress it, just acknowledge it. Second, look for the pilot. Ask yourself, who am I blaming? What story am I telling about their intentions? Third, empty the boat. Remind yourself, this is just a drifting boat. The universe is not conspiring against me. This doesn't mean becoming passive. You can still set boundaries. You can still speak up, but you act with clarity instead of rage, with wisdom instead of wounded pride. In the parable, the monk realized the anger was never about the other boat. It was always about him. Your peace is your responsibility. The river of life will always be full of drifting boats. You can't control the current or the weather, but you can choose how you steer your own ship. Don't let an empty boat sink your happiness. If this story brought you a moment of clarity, consider subscribing to Tales of Inspiration for more quiet wisdom in a loud world. Until next time, sail gently.